Alison fast-forwards to the main activity.
Our main objective today is some of us are going to be sorting some shapes out. Some of us are making some shapes and some of us are describing shapes. Okay, so it's going to be a very busy lesson.
The class splits into 5 different groups based on the children's ability.
Okay, each group you've got a couple of different things to squeeze into this lesson. So hexagons and pentagons, I'm going to send you off straight away.
It's lovely that the groups are called shape names, isn't it?
Squares and triangles, you've got some flat boxes on your table, okay, and you've got to make them so they are 3D again. You can work in partners if you want to, or make your own.
I think that's a nice feature of primary classrooms, how there's an expectation that groups, having been given their brief, will in the main go away and immediately get on with it.
Yeah, and for those squares and triangles, she knows that they're going to be engaged in going to make those boxes. She's got the TA working with the circles, so she knows she can go and help her pentagons and hexagons get started on quite a challenging task.
That's almost 4 different mini lessons.
Right, let's have a look. Fisa, which shape are you describing?
So she's got this great visiting skills of being able to look over, work out the person who needs to be prompted and moved on a little bit.
Yeah.
What do we call the bottom bit, children? What's the shape word for bottom?
Face.
Is it face? Begins with butt. Nearly the kind of the bottom. Because you know, like when we have a pyramid, and we say it's a triangular
Base.
Very good. Base. Okay, so if we're looking at the faces on there.
And she's got the classroom organised nicely. There's that kind of central space that she can move around in order to move out. She's not kind of getting blocked in by tables or having to say, excuse me, to get between chairs. I think that's a good point for teachers, because often you see classroom layout, which just makes it really difficult for people to visit, particularly at an individual level, which creates kind of clusters of children who either never get visited or in secondary schools often go off task because they know they can't be visited and monitored directly.
Is it a cube? Is it a cuboid? Let's double check.
She's obviously got radar ears, hasn't she?
She's
not just
monitoring
360
that group,
visitors.
isn't she? Yeah. And she's still got her mind on whether this is a square, a cube or a cuboid.
So it is a cube, so you can get a label. Okay, you write a cube on it. Why don't you do that? And you can stick it on there. And then you need to label the corners and the straight edges. Hexagons and pentagons, can you just pop your pencils down?
Pretty realises that hexagons and pentagons have finished their task. She moves them on to a new topic, right angles.
And the space from here to there is 90 degrees. Do you remember we talked a little bit
It's really impressive if you glance at the rest of the class how well they're carrying on with their work as well while she's focusing on these group on the carpet.
Yeah.
They're intently making the box there.
Yes.
Who thinks they can put their right angle measure next to a shape and say, there's a right angle? It's got to fit nice and snug in that corner.
It's not about right or wrong, is it?
Yeah,
I
lots
think
of emphasis on finding out, checking.
Lovely, thank you. Sit down.
Setting hexagons and pentagons a new task of sorting the shapes on their tables into those with right angles and those without.
Got right hands. And if you're not sure, have a little chat with the people on your table.
Pretty swaps back to squares and triangles and their 3D shape construction.
Right then, what do you need help with? Shall I put you some sellotape? So what shapes can you see here? What shape's that then? Okay, is there any other shapes on your box?
This is the big box they've been making, isn't it?
What do we call this bit here? Rectangle, good boy. How many rectangles are there?
Her questioning's good, isn't it? She's constantly asking really good questions to draw out more knowledge for each of the children at their own levels.
She has a learning plan for each child, very much embedded in the activity, and she does remember to talk to each individual as much as possible. That's got to feel very empowering as a child over the day, to know that your teacher, has their their head around you and is thinking about you at various points.
Which bit do you think you need to stick on first to make the box? You tell her what you think. Where do you think the sellotape needs to go? Fizza, you and Amber, you do want to work together?
She's really encouraging them to work together, isn't she? Really encouraging them to support each other instead of her having to be the person who's supporting everybody.
Instead of becoming the fount of all knowledge that children have to get the answer from, which kind of breaks everything down to everybody rushing to the teacher, she turns it back into group activity all of the time.
Is this a right angle?
Ask people over here. Saba, what do you think about that? Is that a right angle?
That's nice, isn't it? She's sent her to the other right angle group to have a look and to ask them.
Clever teaching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really encouraging their independence from her and some peer collaboration.
And this is, what's this called? Curved. And you've got straight and... The book is a right angle, yeah, because what shape is it?
Square. Rectangle.
Rectangle. Very good. Good boy, write it down. All of these do, don't they? What about this basket on the front? Is that it? Can you see anything around the classroom that's got right angles?
Book.
What?
The board.
The board. See if you can think of 10 things in the classroom that have got right angles.
That's a really nice little extension which she seems to have just thought of.
And that's all come out of that girl over the other side with the book.
The book is a right angle, yeah, because what shape is it?
That's really neat teaching, that kind of flexibility.
Thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
That's generated such lovely enthusiasm, hasn't it?
They go for it, they're excited.
Real ownership of their own learning, haven't they, and their own activity. It's lovely to see.
Children, well done. You have